Everyone, in this video we'll discuss a very popular and common technique in NVivo, matrix coding. Matrix coding queries can be used as an effective comparative analysis. This tool is used to ask a wide range of questions about patterns in the data and gain access to the content that shows those patterns. For example, you can use a matrix coding query to compare what different demographic groups have said about an experience, an attitude, or an issue. Compare terms used in different contexts or compare attitudes. In our project, we can use matrix coding queries to compare differences among researcher groups in terms of their attitude toward being a researcher, benefits, challenges, and support. The attributes for researchers include age, gender, discipline, or stage. Before using the matrix coding queries, it is important to develop and create case classification. We have done that in another video. Here's the case classification for our project. In this video, we'll compare the difference of attitudes among researcher groups. On the Query tab, in the Create Group, click Matrix Coding. The Matrix Coding Query dialog box opens. On the Row tab, we need to define the rows of the matrix. In the Define More Rows list, click the type item you want to display in the rows. Click the Select button to select the item. In this case, we select positive and negative attitudes for the comparison. Note that I do not select attitudes since it will show the aggregated results. Click OK. Then click the Add to List button. The criteria is added to the Generate Node Matrix with Rows box. It is important to review the path of the nodes to make sure we have the right ones. On the Columns tab, we need to define the columns of the matrix. In the Define More Columns list, click the type of item you want to display in columns. Click the Select button to select the item. We select Case Classification on the left, and then we select Gender as an attribute to be used for the comparison. This is a case classification we created before. We check male and female boxes. Note that I do not select unassigned and not applicable, since they are not a part of our classification sheet. Click OK and click the Add to List button. The criteria is added to the Generate Node Matrix with Columns box. And click Run. This is the result of the matrix coding query. This table shows the attitude by gender. As you can see, one male researcher has a negative attitude toward being a researcher. 8 male researchers have a positive attitude. As for female researchers, 2 female researchers show a negative attitude, while 8 of them show a positive attitude. Note that the total may not be the same since some researchers may show both negative and positive attitudes. So it depends on how you code the data. Again, you can always go back and modify your codes. If you click on Chart tab, it will show the matrix coding results in a graph. You can move the chart around. On the Chart Tools tab, we see different chart options, such as 2D, 3D, in different color schemes. We can change the chart type to select the best one. My recommendation is to keep the chart simple and easy to read. In some cases, 2D charts might work better than 3D charts. To copy the chart, just right-click at the chart and select Copy. And then we can paste it to a Word document. For the node matrix table, we can also right-click and select Export Node Matrix, which will export the table to Excel. You can save the preview results as a node matrix in your project, either in the results folder or node matrices folder. This is useful when you want to keep a record of the coding in your project at a particular point in time To save the previous results as a new node matrix, make sure that you are on the Node Matrix tab. On the Query tab, click Store Query Results. The Store Query Results dialog box opens. We enter attitude versus gender for the name. So if we want to revisit these results, we just go to Folder and select Results. Here is our matrix coding. Double click on it and we'll see the same query results again. We will try another matrix coding for a different comparison. We go to the Query tab and select Matrix Coding. On the Rows tab, we will select a different node. We select Nodes and check Time Requirements and Work Pressure under Challenges. Click OK and click Add to List. On the Columns tab, we will select a different attribute for the researchers, which is stage in their career. So we select Case Classification, select Person, Stage, and check Beginner, Earlier Career, Non-Academic, Established, and Experience. Click OK, click Add to List, and click Run. This is the results of that matrix coding query. We'll look at the chart first. For most researchers, work pressure is a major challenge compared to time requirements. Only one researcher at each stage selects time requirements as a challenge. The work pressure is not even across researchers. Non-academic researchers who work for industrial companies perceive work pressure as a major challenge, while established researchers do not think work pressure is the issue. Beginners and researchers in earlier career also perceive work pressure is a factor. We can see the same results with the 2D chart. This is an interesting finding that we can discuss further in the discussion section. Again, we store this result in a folder called Challenge versus Stage. Make sure to select Node Matrix tab. Then on the Query tab, select Store Query Results and name this query Challenge versus Stage. And we can revisit these results at any time later. That is how to perform matrix coding queries using NVivo. Thank you and bye now.